Hey guys, welcome to my tutorial on how to make a semi-automatic and very cheap farm. Now, first of all, before I get going, I just want to let you know this is not an automatic farm. It's not going to collect stuff, put it in chests for you. There is no redstone involved, so if you're looking for something a little bit more complex, then this is probably not the video for you. But if you're playing survival, you want to find out how to make a farm that is completely basically free. I mean, the only thing you really are going to have on you is the seeds and wood. Other than that, you're probably going to want a hoe so that you can, hoe your dirt. But other than that, I mean, as you can see, this is my whole farm. Everything you see here is made out of wood or dirt, and then obviously the crops. So, before I actually show you how to make it, just going to give you basically a demonstration on how it works. So, the only thing that's not wood that you're going to need is a water bucket. So, yeah, if you have 3 iron, then that'll be the only thing other than wood that you'll need. But anyway, this is how it works. Basically, you have 2 sides to your farm here, and you place water in the middle. And as you can see, the water actually pushes all of your crops down the side of your farm. Now, you might have to do it on both sides depending on how big your farm is. I do have to do it on both because I accidentally made it a little bit too big, because I actually did make this farm for basically just to do it manually, but upon making the system I found that this works much better. So now what you'll see is that all of your crops will be gone, obviously, hence the point of an automatic farm, or at least a semi-automatic farm. Now down here you have some pressure plates and trapdoors. Now I'll explain why all that stuff is there, but first let me just put my seeds in here. Now I have these the stack 64 wheat and this 4 wheat, but other than that, everything else that is in here will be from the actual farm. So get all of this out here. Now as you can see, rather than going around and individually doing your wheat like this, it's quite fast and pretty easy. Now if I were to cut off maybe these 2 lines, I could just put one source block of water into here, obviously cutting off the 2 on this side too, and it would do all of it in one with one source block. As you can see, it would fill it all up and I wouldn't have to place any more. So when you're making yours, you might want to keep that in mind. But yeah, then the only thing that you have left really after you collect is to replant your seeds, which is pretty easy. You just kind of walk backwards and hold down your right mouse button and try to walk in a straight line, unlike me. And that's basically the farm. So anyway, after I replant all of these, I am going to resume and show you guys how to actually build it out of a pre-existing farm, and you can use the same method to make it from scratch. So be right back. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you how to actually make that system out of a pre-existing farm. So if you already have a farm, you don't actually have to tear it down and rebuild it. You can actually just basically renovate. So, which is actually what I did. I didn't actually build this from scratch. This is just, I came up with this and added it to my current farm. So, what you can do is basically, at the end of each of your lines of crops, granted, you are going to want a farm that you don't have to have it exactly like mine, but you want to have it at least in a row. So, if you have a sort of like a circle farm or something, that can work as well, but you'll have to make it work the way that you have your farm. But anyway, if you have it in rows like most people tend to farm, you basically just go 1 level below the actual dirt, as you can see, and you want to put pressure plates all across a row here. And then you just basically cover up the pressure plates with wood. Nothing really too amazing here. Now again, like I said at the beginning, you'll notice that everything that I use in this tutorial is completely 100% wood. I don't use anything other than the bucket that is made out of anything but wood. Now anyway, you put the trapdoors up here, and what will happen is anytime something drops in there, as I'll try to sneak that in there, the trapdoor will actually open. And the reason why that's important is obviously so you can get in there and grab it, and it also lets you know when something falls in there. In case anything other than crops falls in there, you'll know, and so you can just grab that out. Now obviously you don't want to be jumping on your crops like I just did, but you know, I don't really have a choice right now because it's not done and I don't have a way in and out. So anyway, now a very important part of this is actually making sure that you have things on the side of the flow of water. In my case, I prefer to use half blocks. You can use anything other than that as well, but there is an advantage to using half blocks, and I'll show you that in a moment. But let me put the pressure plates down here and just finish up this side as well. Don't really need to do anything other than what I already showed you, so I'm not going to explain this too much. Ignore my terrible block placing, it's a bit laggy while I'm recording. So this should be pretty much the end of that. I'm going to pop a torch right there. Also going to pop a torch on the other side. Now, with the half blocks, which you can see I have a stack of them right here, you basically just place them right across the side of the crops. And as you can see, I've already done that for all the rest of these. So I'm just going to go across here and do that. Oops, fell off there. Like I said, a little bit laggy while I'm recording, so excuse my terrible building skills. Usually not this terrible. And basically your system is pretty much all set up now. The only thing that I have to do here, I believe I forgot to put the... oh no, I put the pressure plates down there. I just need to put the trapdoors up here. And there you go, your system is built. Now, obviously you can see that that took me no more than maybe 3 or 4 minutes to build this whole system. So if you only have one row, it's going to take you, less than 5 minutes to get this all done. And obviously I have quite a few rows here, with one little random row in there, which was my test. But anyway, it'll take you a little bit longer if you have a larger farm, but overall it'll take you probably about, on average I'd say 10 minutes, and all you'll be using, like I said, is wood. Now before I give you a demonstration on, just to show that it works from scratch, I want to explain why all this stuff is here. So first of all, you might wonder why not just drop it into an empty hole. Well, first of all, if you drop it into an empty hole, it's not going to collect into a little square like this, whereas, or I should say, if you just drop off the edge, it's not going to collect into little tiny squares, so you can just hop in there and grab it. Second of all, the reason why I have the pressure plates down there, rather than just doing it with, a hole in the ground, so to speak, is so that I can go in here, and it'll be sort of kept out of the way from everything else, and when something falls down here, because the trapdoors open up, you'll always know if something falls down here. So if something drops down there, or if you go down there and you leave something behind, like a couple seeds or a couple wheat, it'll stay open always. That way you can always know when something's down there. Another good reason why I have the trapdoors is, as you can see, I can just run straight across here, which is quite convenient because you are going to need a way to get onto your farm, because like I said before, you are going to need to place the water and actually replant the seeds. So having the trapdoors there allows you a little bit more mobility when you're going up and down across here, rather than having to only use basically this area here, that where my shovel is pointing, to get around. So last but not least, these half blocks. The reason why I don't use full blocks here is because, as you can see, it allows you to just walk up, rather than, whereas if you were here, this is the same size as a full block, you would have to jump up, which having to jump up is not a big deal, but when you have to jump down, you can start destroying crops. So this allows you to just walk back and forth, which not only is it convenient, but it keeps your crops safe. And as you can see, if you don't believe me, you can just walk across here and it keeps it nice and safe. So yeah, another thing is you're going to need somewhere to put your torches. I suggest using floating blocks like this. If there's another way to do it, do it your way, but this is a pretty good way in my opinion. So anyway, finally, let's actually show you how this works. Place the source block in there, and it worked just like it did on the other one. Now obviously you are going to have to put a couple more down if you didn't do it, if you didn't build it correctly, which I did not actually. I built, obviously the collection area correctly, but, and I'm an idiot. Okay. Anyway, so you might want to make it a little bit smaller than what I have, but other than that, that should pretty much be good. And yeah, I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for other tutorials you might want to see, feel free to leave it in the comments as well. Don't know if I'll do any more of these, but, you know, worth a try. So, anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I hope you find this useful.